Good afternoon, I'm Brady Organ.
I'm Garrett McElhenney.
Glad to have you guys with us today. We're running a live stream for Calvert Hall versus St. Paul's soccer. Calvert Hall last time out, disappointing loss to Curly 5-1 in the Reef Cup. Great crowd, but it just wasn't enough to inspire the team to victory. And Calvert Hall will be back out today looking for a little rebound to bring themselves back up to a winning record. They've fallen to 3-3 in conference play.
Yeah, St. Paul's, they started off the season 1-5-1, and the other day they lost to Gilman 1-0. So today they look to beat the Cardinals to get back up to 2-5-1.
What are you looking for in Calvert Hall today to drive themselves to victory?
So from what I saw during the Reef Cup, I didn't see much separation from both offense and defense. I saw a lot of bunching in the middle. So I'd like to see our offense today get spread out, send some balls up to Barwick and Facetta when he comes in. If we get some through balls up to them and some one-time finishes, I think we'll look pretty good today.
Yes, obviously Sean Barwick and Ryan Facetta will be the center of Calvert scoring along with Ben Bender. We're going to be looking for them to get a lot of touches today. Personally, I think that the team was a little bit stale on Friday. I think a little bit of rotation would be good for the team. I think some new faces on the field, maybe defense, they looked a little tired. I think once we get our guys back, obviously Bobby Wells still hurt, Nick Long with a concussion, Gizrael with the MCL. It's really unfortunate because normally a team will have injuries, but rarely do you see all the injuries centered on one position. You know, you got Camden Owen now playing defense, whereas the last 2 years he was playing forward and, you know, a huge part of the offense. So obviously with him in the back, that's taking some power from our offense, and he's been doing a great job with the adjustment. But obviously we want to see Bobby come back, we want to see Giz, we want to see Nick, because in the beginning of the season and last season they were all huge. They all had huge roles in Calvert's defense.
Yeah, exactly. Like you said, you're talking about the new faces. Like today we're seeing, I believe, Chris Link in the starting lineup. Very good player, but like you were talking about, we're missing some very good players in our back line. And like you said, Cam Oren's supposed to be up front. Very good shooter, even though he's pretty good at defense. Missing our back line is pretty huge, especially against a team like Curly last Friday. So hopefully we can see him step it up against St. Paul's today.
Exactly, yeah. Speaking of new faces, Stephen Welsh has earned himself a spot in the starting lineup today. He has prior games. In the beginning of the season, he was a new face for the team, being a sophomore coming up from JV last year. And this year he's done well, and he showed the coaches that he can roll with the big boys, and he's going to get a starting spot today.
Yep, same with Jake Bleacher, who's probably most likely coming off the bench today. He did start on Friday. He's a big guy on our defense that we need, especially coming off the bench today. He's going to be a good sub, especially with Rory Jones up top for St. Paul's, who is pretty quick up there.
Yeah, it's amazing. Glad to see all these new faces with a great role for Calvert Hall. We're going to take a step back now. The game will be starting in a couple minutes. We'll see you soon. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Kickoff happening shortly in a couple seconds. We got Rory Jones in the center circle. He's going to be kicking off. Former Calvert Hall player, transferred last year. And it'll be interesting to see his return to Calvert Hall.
Yeah, Brady, I'd like to see Rory go up against this defense, even though we're missing a few starters. Rory was a big guy on our JV team before he transferred. He was very quick, especially at the striker position. Scored a lot of finishes, but let's hope our defense can lock him up today.
Calvert starting off quickly, playing a little possession, swinging around. Here's that back line we've been talking about. They're already getting pressed hard by who else but Rory Jones. And number 6, Lawrence Ablett. He puts one in, but Spencer Nattens deals it with ease. He rolls it out to Stephen Welsh, who we talked about earlier, a new face in the lineup. Normally playing striker, but it seems like today they have him positioned at left mid.
Yeah, Brady, I could see Stephen Welsh playing left mid, especially because he's a pretty good distributor, likewise as Andrew Guidi is. I think they're a good matchup in the middle of the field together, which is pretty good for Barwick, Burris, and Facetta up top.
Yeah, it seems like we've had a small shift in positioning so far. Sean Barwick has the ball in the box here. He whips it across, but it stops with a little bit of effort from Tim Loeffler. Like I was saying, there's a little bit of a shift in position today. Normally we see Dylan Burris starting at left mid. Normally we'll see Stephen Welsh come off the bench playing striker. And normally we'll see Sean Barwick starting the game at that 10 role. But it seems like he's dropped back a little bit deeper to play more of a supporting role. And we've seen Stephen Welsh out left, and now Dylan Burris is up front playing that 9.
Yeah, Brady, I definitely think that's a decision that head coach Rich Zincan and Jeff Fulton made. I think they wanted to switch it up a little bit, especially I played soccer back in freshman year, and we did have a couple of losing streaks, and after that, coaches would usually switch up something just to get a new feel for things, and we're hoping that works out today.
Yeah, it's big. Like you said, Friday night, the offense seemed like it lacked a little bit of inspiration, so it's good to see a little bit of rotation in the lineup and see if we can find a new sweet spot for the team. Here's Sean Barwick playing a little bit deeper, but the ball's given away, and now St. Paul's will look to reset. They're going to drive down the right side of the field, but Stephen Welsh intercepts. Andy Crisp, rather. Here's Dylan Burris. He crosses it in. Guidi has a chance, but he doesn't get to it first. Link up against number 16, Jalen Thomas. And now St. Paul is just swinging their feet around, trying to get the ball out of their defensive area.
Yeah, Brady, I love this offense so far by the Cardinals. What a shot. But yeah, this offense looks pretty good so far. We're pressuring them pretty hard. They haven't gotten much on us except for that one shot on Nattens, which he saved. So far we're looking pretty good.
Yeah, we've seen Benny rip some shots like that before. Against Curley, he had a great goal from far out. He has a nice foot on him. I think he's been more than stellar, possibly an all MIAA player for this year. It's good to see him out. He was hurt earlier in the year, but he's back. I've also been told that he is very good at playing table tennis, very good at volleyball, and very good at acoustic guitar. So it seems like he's got a lot going for him right now, playing the number 8 role for Calvert.
Yeah, I could definitely see Ben Bender definitely being an all-MIAA selection this year. He's been on varsity since his freshman year, and he's been nothing but good for the Cardinals, especially on their championship run. He was a good player that year, and definitely this year so far.
Well, here's Sean Barwick, sort of trying to find a groove here. He starts it to Corona. Corona now to Guidi. Guidi looking to serve it in. He takes a deflection off the defender. I think that was Will Burdett, but the goalie left where he collects it, and St. Paul's will reset once again. St. Paul's really looking just to find the flow right now. They've been getting the ball up a little bit, but they can't keep it. So we'll see what they can do right here as Rory Jones is fighting for possession. So is Joseph Hudak.
Yeah, Brady, with that offensive pressure so far, it takes some pressure off of our back line, who, like we said, again, we're missing a couple starters, so taking the pressure off of them is definitely key to this game.
Well, here's Stephen Welsh. He plays it up the line to Dylan Burris, but Dylan can't control it. The referee has flagged it out of bounds, and St. Paul's will have a throw-in. Clay McComas fights for possession. He boots it upfield over the head to St. Paul's back line, and they'll just be forced to head it out. Quick, smart play there from Clay.
Yeah, one thing about Clay is he's usually an outside back, but we see him playing in the middle with Cam Moran today. Clay's a big physical guy, so we like to see him get up and win those head balls, which he just did. So especially Clay being in the back today starting is a good move for the Cardinals.
Yeah, our wingbacks have really stepped up this year. Dom Corona, who's obviously solidified his spot in the starting lineup over the last couple years. Clay McComas, it's great to see him get his way into the starting lineup, even if it's in the center, but he's been doing very well. He's been served as the right-hand man for Dom on the right side. And the left side, we have two new faces, Jake Bleacher and Andy Christ, both coming up from JV last year, some juniors. It's good to see them step into the lineup because we lost a lot of faces last year who were playing wingback.
Yeah, Andy and Jake, both definitely good players who will be good the rest of their Calvert Hall career here for the Cardinals. Yeah, and Clay in the middle, I think it's a good combination going through the rest of the season.
So St. Paul is still trying to get that ball off of their sideline right now. Calvert Hall pressing very hard, and they're slowly getting it away, and now they'll be able to, never mind. St. Paul's still looking for an opening, but now Benny has it. He's going to put it into the corner for Dylan Burris. Now we have Sean Barwick in the box waiting. The ball doesn't make it. Steven with an opportunity. No, it was blocked. Possible handball there, but the ref did not see it, nor did he think it was a handball. So the play goes on. Here's Cam Owen from the back. He's taking on Rory Jones. He plays it to Guidi. Guidi now with a little bit of pressure. Gets a second chance. Now Barwick. Barwick to Benny. He can rip a shot here. He does. Oh, just wide. Did it take a deflection? No. St. Paul's will take the goal kick.
Yeah, Brady, I love that shot from Benny, especially with the passing that was going on right now. Chris Link had a good distribution out to Dom Corona, who did send it up to Barwick. With that distribution from everyone so far, it looks pretty good, especially with getting a couple shots off there.
Yeah, that was a great play right there. You can tell, like, when an announcer gets into the flow, it sounds like, the Kentucky Derby, like, you know that Calvert Hall is playing really well with their passing when they're doing that. And you just want to see more of that when they connect. There's more creativity, more inspiration. You didn't see much of that on Friday, but here's another opportunity for them with Dylan Burris. He puts it back to Barwick. Here's Steve. And now Benny again.
Okay, all right, we'll do it.
It's booted away desperately by the St. Paul's defender. And now they're just in limbo right now, trying to get the ball out of their zone.
Yeah.
Yet again, booted.
Okay, I'm gonna figure out which.
Settled by Adlet, and he actually has an opportunity to get upfield here. A little trip, no call from the ref, and Calvert Hall on a quick counter here. He's Dylan Burris, right corner. He keeps it in, but it's cleared out by Jack Wyatt. So Calvert Hall will yet again reset and keep pressing that ball on St. Paul's defense.
Brady, this offensive pressure so far looks really good, especially because we're passing. I mean, I could definitely see a goal coming soon here because, oh, what a shot. There it is. Called it.
Yep. Steve Welsh, like you said, this offensive pressing is just amazing. Second chance goal right there off the rebound. It's just great to see that. We got the play from Benny taking the ball down the sideline. He squares it across to Steve. Steve with one shot, saved by Leffler. And then Leffler just didn't have an opportunity to hold on to it. He couldn't get back up for Steve's second shot, and it's great. That's a quick open for Calvert Hall, and we have another goal.
Yep, it's always good to see a deflection go in, especially in soccer, knowing that it was saved originally and then it does end up finding the net, which is really good for the Cards going up 1-0 here.
So we're just 9 minutes into the game, about 31 left in the first half, and we already have our first goal from Calvert Hall. That's great to see. Calvert Hall went down early against Curley last Friday, so it's good to see coming back out in the lead. Last Thursday, though, against Mount St. Joe's, we were up 1-0, and then late, Mount St. Joe's scored to tie it up, made it 1-1. Took to overtime. Sean Barwick scored his second goal of the day to get the win. But we've seen this recurring theme from Calvert Hall, barring the game against Curley, obviously, where it's been very close. We took the game against McDonough to overtime, one of the best teams in the nation. Along with Loyola, lost 2-0. We've beaten Spalding on a last-minute goal. We've beaten Eastern Tech on a last-minute goal. The only win, and as Calvert Hall is pressing in the box right here with a couple opportunities, Benny with the shot and Leffler with the save. The only win that we've had that was not a nail-biter was John Carroll. So Calvert Hall has a recurring theme of close games, and we just need to see them get some more comfortable leads like they did with John Carroll, beat them 4-0. We just need to see Calvert Hall come out and like scoring in the first 9 minutes. That's great, but now we have to keep it going. We can't just settle back and relax a little bit. You know, I know it's hot out here. The sun is really beating down. Looks like summer's trying to make a comeback. I fully welcome it. But here we have Calvert Hall with Dylan Burris on the ball, and then he's gonna play it back. Heavy pressure from Rory Jones. He's come out with rejuvenated energy.
Yeah, Brady, like you were talking about, I can definitely see Calvert Hall winning this game, and many if they could get out early. Going down in a soccer game from experience is really hard, especially when you go down early. It's hard to get your momentum back, but once you do, it's possible to win the game. But going up early is always a big sign, especially for the Cardinals here right now going up.
He chips it. Ooh. Off the crossbar. Very creative play. We got a ball from Welsh from the corner, and Guidi with a little flick outside the foot. Almost chipped Leffler. Great to see Guidi in the box. He's played more of an outside role. He's been the one that you'll see serving in crosses, but it's good to see him in the box because he does have that. There's just something that he has where he can just find the ball. It's impressive.
Yeah, like especially with Chris Link, also Guidi, Chris Link, and James Garfink, who comes off the bench. We like to see them distribute a lot, which is very good for this team, especially knowing that our players up top, Barwick, Facetta, Chris, they can all run, which is really good, especially when you have players who can distribute.
So St. Paul's with the ball. Adlet does a good job of keeping it in, but nope, never mind. The Seisman has flagged it out of bounds. It'll be a goal kick for Nattens. Nattens with a rough night on Friday. Obviously, not much help from his defense, who looks very tired. But also Nattens, it's never a good thing to let 5 get by you. For the confidence, you know, it's just being a goalie. When a team scores on you, it's not your fault. You know, Nattens definitely didn't have much help on Friday. Being a goalie and getting lit up like that, it's just not good at all. Because then you start to get in this funk, and I think he has a lot of experience with Calvert Hall, and I think he's a much more well-shaped veteran for Calvert Hall, and I don't think he's gonna let that game on Friday get him down.
Yeah, definitely not, Brady. Spencer's a good goalkeeper. We like to see him bounce back today. So far, he's done pretty good, especially with that goal kick right there. We got offense going again. So right now, looking pretty good for Nattens, which we like to see.
And here's Cam in the corner. We have seen him this year go on a couple quick runs, and he will return to defense now. But it's always good to have him contribute to the offense because that's really what this team thrived off of last year. Unfortunately, he gives the ball away there. Here's Griffin Polinsky. He plays it over to Jalen Thomas. Jalen Thomas with a chance. He's going up against Cam. Cam in arm pressing, and he will deflect it out of bounds. Great recovery from Calvert Hall there. Really stopped that fast break. Impressive stuff.
Yeah, that's a good transition, especially by Cam. He was just on offense up in the corner just a few seconds ago, and now he's back on defense blocking a cross. We're going to see a corner here by St. Paul's in just a second. Let's hope we can get it out. On Friday night, Curley actually scored a header off of a corner, which wasn't the best, but we'd like to see that defense step it up a little bit to get today on this corner, which they do.
Hudak whips it in, looking for Adlet, but it's cleared out by Clay McComas. Only for St. Paul's back line to head it back towards Calvert Hall's goal. Here's Hudak again. He fights with Sean Barwick. Loses the physical battle there. Now Calvert Hall looking to reset with Welsh on the wing. Welsh cuts back. He plays it to Andy. Now Andy back to Sean. Sean plays a long spiraling ball in for Dom Corona, but it's intervened by a St. Paul's defender. And now we have Link fighting with Idlet for the ball. He does a good job, but Idlet not giving up. He draws the foul for Andrew Greedy. And St. Paul is starting to show a little bit of life here. We're getting some more action on both sides of the field, whereas in the beginning, first 10 minutes, Calvert Hall was controlling the ball. But now we've seen a couple set pieces from St. Paul's. Here's another one. And like you said, Friday night, Curly, that header on the corner kick. It's just set piece goals can really demoralize a team. They're just not supposed to happen. You're given the chance to prepare for it, and you got a mark. So set piece is a huge importance for Calvert's defense tonight. Can't let any of those in because it's a silly goal to allow, and it really puts you in a hole.
Yeah, I'm sure with those set pieces, they definitely practice that all week, especially playing soccer my past couple years. We have had that happen to us before, and we've done nothing but practice that because on Friday, James Garfink did come off his post, and which ended up letting the goal go in that bottom corner. So I'm sure they refined that this past week, and we're hoping we see that today.
Yeah, that's another thing. That's another thing about allowing set pieces goals. As a coach, you have to be so frustrated with that because you will spend hours during the week, especially going up against Curly. They had the whole week to practice, and they spent hours practicing set pieces just for it to just slip through the cracks. You know, it could have easily been a very close game. When Bender scored that goal to make it 2-1, you felt like it was going to be close. Calvert really had some momentum, and then all of a sudden you get a couple set pieces, you get a couple corners, and then it's gone again. So today we're going to see Calvert tighten up, and we have seen them tighten up on defense during set pieces, marking really tight. Now Calvert has a chance on themselves. Barwick lobbing it in. Here's Burris. Maybe a shot. Maybe he plays it off to someone. He does. It finds Andy Christ. Andy to Barwick. Barwick back to Andy. And now Calvert just looking for something. Looking for an opportunity to get the ball into the box. Cam going up against two defenders right there. Not going to win those battles many times. St. Paul's defender sends the ball onto Goucher Boulevard, and I sure hope that didn't hit a car because it's expensive.
Yeah, Brady, one thing I'm noticing with this St. Paul's defense is they're playing more like, if I had to compare it, it's like an NFL zone coverage. They're not really pressuring at all or playing man. They're kind of playing like park the bus since they're down 1-0 right now. So you're not really seeing much offense for them, which is very good for the Cardinals.
Don Kerner with an opportunity to have the ball found his foot, but it couldn't stick to his foot. It rolls out of bounds. St. Paul's will have a goal kick. But like you said, if you can check the feed right now, as you see, the St. Paul's, they have a very strong defensive presence right now, but they're not sticking to any Calvert players. And maybe that'll pay off. Maybe they'll be able to be more flexible with their defense. But as you can see, they're just sort of floating around right now.
Yeah, that's one thing. Like when we were talking about those set pieces, playing high school soccer, it's really hard to get past a defense these days. That's why teams pride themselves on set pieces so much.
Burris, he lobs one over the goal, and it might have been knocked. It was a lucky break. The defender Brendan Shelley made a little error right there. He knocked the ball out of bounds. It gives Calvert a corner kick. And we will see a quick play from Benny. Benny gives it to Guidi. Guidi with an opportunity to cross it. It gets blocked by Aidlet. Now Bender with the ball going up against Shelley. Shelley does a good job of stuffing him there. A little bit of redemption for that error he made at the corner. St. Paul's with the throw in, looking to counterattack pretty quickly.
Looks like there's a big.
Great pressure from Dylan and Bender. And now Bender with an opportunity to get a goal. He's going to play a very creative ball to Steve Welsh. Oh, he's flying outside. That's very unlucky. I don't really know. I can't really say it from my angle, but that was a great play by Benny. Normally you'd see him just take the long shot, and I encourage it. I'm totally fine with him taking the long shot, but he looked for an alternative there, and he found Steve, and Steve was open. So
yeah, even though that play was called off sides, it looks good, especially for our offense right now, distributing again. It's also putting pressure on the St. Paul's defense, which looks kind of tired right now, which is also very good.
The senior Ryan Fazetta coming in now. He's replacing Goldberg's striker. As we said earlier, Ryan Fazetta Ryan Facetta has been a center of Calvert scoring this year. He hasn't been scoring that many goals, but he's always been around the play when they score. I've noticed that he's on the field for a lot of Calvert's goals, and it's good to have his presence. He's just so fast and he's so big. And it'll be interesting with Sean Barwick dropping back into more of a center defensive mid role. It'll be interesting to see him and Facetta on the field at the same time. You rarely ever see that, the two main strikers for Calvert on the field at the same time. So it'll be interesting to see if they can play off each other. Both of them have some very powerful speed, and it'll be interesting to see if they can use that to their advantage together.
Yeah, I definitely love Facetta coming off the bench. He's a big physical guy who's also very fast, so he can get up on those head balls and score those one-time finishers, which we love to see, especially playing with Barwick, who they can play off each other, which we like to see them figure out how to do. And if they can, it looks really good for the Cardinals.
Merlin plays an interesting ball in. I don't know if it was actually intended for Facetta, but it almost ended up finding him on the back post. Like that, Kim's presence in offense is very important, and we love to see him play those balls in, because when he's getting involved in the offense, it changes everything.
Vincent Hill re-enters the game for St. Paul's. He replaces Ruben Archanapali. Entering the game for Calvert Hall, Hayden Lim. He replaces Steve Welsh. I don't have to watch out.
Here's Aidlet. He's going against Tom Corona. He pokes the ball away. Might be able to save it here. Doesn't. And it's granted to St. Paul's. A little bit of an interesting call. But, you know, it's the referee's job, not mine.
Yeah, Brady, we also see Hayden come in for Steve Welsh, who is also a sophomore. So we like to see him get up the side, send some balls up to Facetta, and we'd like to see a goal here.
Joseph Hudak heads it out on an accident. Quick turnover from St. Paul's there. Not what you want to see as the head coach of Washington. He noted to me earlier that he's looking for his team to shut down on the turnovers. They really struggle with that, coming off of a 1-0 loss from last week. He told me that their turnovers were a huge disorder.
Yeah, that's one big thing for Calvert Hall right now. We are getting a lot of turnovers, especially on the defensive end. We're getting the ball away from Rory Jones, which is a key to this game, especially Rory being so fast and physical.
Cam puts another ball up the middle, looking for Guidi, but it's booted away by St. Paul. Spencer Nance now just taking his time, very leisurely. He's gonna roll the ball up a little bit. See if Rory Jones will pressure him. I don't know. He finally draws the footsteps of Rory and boots it away, and it somehow finds Calvert Hall. And here's Sean Barwick playing against Andrew Guidi. Guidi now plays it out wide to Corona. Corona tries to save it. That was probably not the best move, as he gave Ailey just a free run at the sideline there. And Will Burdett just boots it towards the sideline. Saved by Ailey though. Now to Rory. And then here's Griffin Polinsky. He lobs it towards the right side corner. Joseph Hudak doesn't have the speed to catch up to it, though. The ball was played very far ahead of him. It goes out for a throw-in. Andy Chris taking. Got a couple new substitutions. Coming in is Jake Bleacher, the junior. He's replacing Tom. It's a little interesting. We're seeing Clay stay at the center back, and we're seeing Andy Chris move over right back.
Jacob Bleacher, and Riley Organ.
At left back now. Also, Riley Organ, the freshman, coming in. Yeah, he's my brother. We don't talk about that. I mean, we do, but it's no big deal. You know, he's just gonna get stepped on or something. It's so small.
Yeah, Brady, going back to that goal kick. Well, actually, no, not the goal kick. That play that started with Nattens. He decided to take the ball out of the box and draw Roy Jones to him, which ended up getting a good play going for Calvert Hall, even though it didn't result in a goal. It took some time off the clock, gave our defense some time to sit back and let the offense go to work.
Here's Cam running the ball in the field. He lobs over, possibly Facetta's. It is Facetta's ball. He boosts it up into the air, heads it down to Riley. Riley can't get a foot on it though. And now Shelley will be looking to reset it. He gives it a big foot. It finds Cam's chest. But that goes straight back to Ablett, who's had a very strong presence in this first half. He fights 2 Colorado defenders, and it's kicked out by Cam or Andy, and it'll be a St. Paul's throw-in.
One thing I've really noticed about Cam all throughout the years I've seen the kid play, he's really good in the air. So if at some point during the season we can get our back line up to where it should be and we see Cam move back up to offense, set pieces would be huge for Calvert Hall, especially being how good Cam is in the air. Wins all those physical plays, especially head balls. Like we just saw, he chested down one back to Steven, I think, and it's worked out for Calvert Hall so far.
So Shelley with another throw-in. There's Eric Seguizi. It seems like St. Paul's is starting to find themselves a little bit closer to Calvert Hall's goal as he kicks it out for a goal kick, though. But St. Paul's definitely came out very slow. I think with about 14 minutes remaining, they're going to look to get a goal before halftime. They can't let Calvert Hall go into the break up with a lead because then they'll come out just like they did in the beginning of the game and start off hot again. Calvert Hall, otherwise, I think they're starting to coast right now. I think they need to ramp up production a little bit more. It's good to see them with those creative passes. Of course, that created the goal earlier. I think they've strayed away from that now. It's more of an aerial battle right now. The ball's just flying everywhere. And I think Calvert Hall needs to find their rhythm again. Here's Cam against Ablett. Ablett finds Jalen Thomas. Thomas finds Chase Dorn. Now with Joseph Hudak. Back to Eric Seguizi. Eric lets one rip. Oh! Almost finds the post right behind Spencer Natten. Spencer, with the outreach fingers, couldn't reach the ball. Luckily for Spencer, the ball was off target. So there we see that had to be one of the first big chances for St. Paul's today. They haven't gotten many shots on target. I think they have one on target. I believe that one was not on target. But it's interesting to see St. Paul's. I think Eric Segui's a good face for the lineup today. We could see him have more of an impact because I haven't seen anyone from St. Paul's just decide to take a shot like that. You know, that's what's worked for Calvert Hall. But then as Willie Jones falls, trying to chase that ball, it's cleared out by Clay McComas. Fassetta turning on the afterburners. He's chasing that down.
Yeah, Brady, even though that shot was off target, it was good defense by Calvert Hall and a good dive by Spencer Nattens. I like the pressure by our defense. It's something that St. Paul's is doing the opposite of. They're playing more conservative, so we like to see our offense ramp up some production and get maybe a couple through balls in or some head balls in.
Here's Clay McComas. He plays out wide to Jake Bleacher. Jake Bleacher, a little drag back, tries to shake the defender, but he'll just recycle it back to Clay McComas. Clay now a long ball that finds the feet of Fassetta. Fassetta in the box now. He gets by one, pokes it towards the center, but it gets blocked out by a St. Paul's defender. And Calvert Hall needs to save this one to keep it going. And instead, Clay will slide tackle it out, and St. Paul's will finally be able to breathe some air.
I see head coach Rich Zinkan going down on his knees, like he seems like he's mad at the play. Maybe Fassetta made a wrong decision. Maybe he should have sent it back, but I couldn't really see much. Looked good to me, but let's hope they can pick it up.
Yeah, I think like you said in the beginning of the game before kickoff, you said that you're looking for Calvert Hall to have some more balls over the top. And you said Barwick, but Barwick hasn't really been playing that position. But Fassetta, it's good that they're finding Fassetta. Here's Riley Oregon in the corner. He gets by one. He whips it in, finds Fassetta. Fassetta couldn't get a foot on it. Here's Hayden. Hayden to Fassetta. How?
Wow.
All right, he scored.
There we go. That was a very good play.
That was a great play. That was close. I would be very oh my gosh, I don't know what I would have done. That would have been a crazy save.
Hey, it went in. That's all that counts.
All that counts. little goal line technology action from ours truly at MIAA. Thank you guys so much for the great ball. Ryan Facetta with, I believe, his second goal of the year. Congratulations to him. Great ball from Riley Organt. Good job for Hayden Lim. You know, after Facetta missed it on the first time, Hayden didn't give up on the play. Hayden had a chance to shoot. It got blocked. Yet again, didn't give up on the play. And then he squares across to Facetta for easy tapping.
Yeah, like we were just talking about Facetta. That play pretty much ran through him because he did dummy that ball that came from Riley Organt across the limb, and then he ended up deflecting it. Ryan went in for the one-timer, which is very good. That dummy is a huge part of soccer, especially with a ball across the middle. If you can get that through with your defender staying on you, that could be a open goal, especially for the player who's on the outside, which ended up happening with a deflection back to Facetta and into the net.
Sort of a reckless ball there from Quinn McConus. It goes out right by St. Paul's bench. St. Paul with a throw-in, long throw. It sort of finds its way to Calvert's back line. Cam with a big foot over the top. Facetta maybe able to catch up to it with those burns that he has. Not enough. It was just too hard to get to. You know, very powerful ball from Cam. But we see that speed of Facetta. He's just very fast, and it's impressive stuff.
Yeah, even though that ball went out of bounds, we did see Facetta beat that center back, which we like to see, especially with the big boot of Cam Moore. And we know that they can get that ball up, especially switching the field, which is pretty good at getting some pressure off the defense.
Calvert is now starting to get a steady flow, courtesy of Riley Organt, Hayden Lim, and Ryan Facetta. Up 2-0 now, and we're starting to see Calvert try to gain a lead with just 9 minutes left in the first half. It's felt like a long one, honestly. I think that this game it hasn't been as fast as we've seen Calvert play. I don't know, maybe it's just the Monday feeling that I have, everyone has. Maybe it just feels like it's being dragged out, but really this game it's been a little bit slow. It's very conservative, like you said. Both teams kind of testing the waters. Calvert has a little bit of action in the box. Spencer Nattens, he hit Cam from behind. Cam gets up though, thankfully. But Spencer Nattens with a punch out. And now we just see Polanski fighting for the ball in the corner. But great job from Ben Bender to force it out. It'll be a goal kick for Calvert. I hope that Cam's all right there. He looks like he caught an elbow or something from maybe one of the St. Paul's players, maybe one of his own teammates. And but he's back up, he's walking. That's great to see. I don't know what this team would do with him hurt.
Yeah. When you were talking about us playing conservative, even though we aren't playing as fast-paced as we were on Friday, I like to see that because getting a lot of one-touch passes gets to spread us out even more instead of all you do is sending through balls, which gets our offense all bunched up sometimes.
Yeah, it's good to see a little of nonchalance from Calvert. I think they were scrambling all over the place Friday night. You know, big crowd, big occasion, big stage. You know, under the lights on a Friday night, you can just feel that pressure come on to you, and I think that Calvert really succumbed to that pressure. I think that today, with a more of a relaxed game, as we see number 7, Patrick Tejada, get ready to come in for Calvert. I think this is a good breather for Calvert. I think it's a good opportunity for them to find their footing again.
Yeah, especially going up 2-0 already in the first half. It's good. Calvert can kind of sit back right now. Shot.
Joseph Hudak with the shot. It was deflected by what looked like Andy Crisp, but Spencer Nattens with the quick reflexes. That's what we love to see out of him. Recovering from Friday night. A tough night for everyone. The players, the coaches, the students, the families. It just wasn't fun to watch. But today it looks like we're having a little more fun watching this game.
Entering the game, Calvert, Patrick.
Yeah, especially seeing Spencer Nattens make that pretty good quick reaction save right there. It's good to know that everyone's rebounding from Friday night and we're up 2-0 already here.
So Pat Tejada replaces Ryan Facetta. That moves Riley Organt to the striker position and Pat Tejada to right mid. Riley just flagged for offsides. Really needs to do a better job of knowing his position there. I'll make sure he knows later tonight. But St. Paul's back line gonna whip this free kick out. Here's Jack Wyatt. looking for the big boot. He lobs it. Yeah, another free kick for St. Paul's. Looks like Jalen Thomas will look to do a quick restart here. He tries to find Lawrence Ablett, but it's caught off really quickly. And now Calvert quick counterattack. Here's Andy Chris back now on the right side. Good to see him over here. Pat Tejada wants to throw in, but the referee disagrees with him. He says, no, it's St. Paul's. So now Shelley throws it in. They're gonna flicks it on to Pat, but Chase Dorn cuts it off. And now Calvert just looking to get the ball back up on the other side. With just 5 minutes remaining in the half. It'll be amazing to see them get a third goal before halftime.
Yeah, Brady, we also see Shane Allen playing in the midfield with Ben Bender now. I actually didn't even recognize him come in, but Shane's also a good distributor, especially up to the wingers. I think he's a good matchup with Patrick Tejada, both coming in off the bench. They look good, especially in these final 4 minutes of the second half. We'd like to see maybe another goal, like you just said, going up 3-0, especially be huge going into the second half.
Yeah, Shane's a big body. He has a very strong physical presence. And going up against other teams, he can just throw his body into them and take the ball. He's very good at that. It's good to see him be an anchor to the center midfield. Here's an opportunity for St. Paul's. Ben Bender fighting to get that ball out. He finds Riley again. Riley finds Pat Tejada. Pat Tejada plays back to Spencer Nens. Calvert just trying to find their footing right here. Spencer lobs one up. It's over the head of Mason Woodward. Woodward heads it outwards though. And that'll be a throw in for Calvert. Looks like Jake Bleacher will take.
I really like that play from Nattens, Brady. Getting that ball out just to reset the play, switch the field. It's pretty good. Now we're on offense, which shows that it was a good decision all in all. So I really like that by Nattens.
Flagged off sides though, and St. Paul's gets a little bailout, I guess you could say. But yes, definitely, I think that Calvert started to look a little panicked there. Oh, open goal opportunity. But it's stopped with ease from Tim Leffler. Hayden Lim with a quick shot, try to catch him off his footing. But now Leffler will take his time, boot one up. We got 3 minutes remaining in the first half. Calvert up 2-0. We've had goals from Facetta and a goal from, who else was it? It was Welsh, yes. Facetta and Welsh. Here's Bender with the shot. Goal. Post. Oh.
What a shot.
That was a great shot, especially with that angle on the left foot. A little Eden Hazard-esque shot right there. With the goal he had against Liverpool this weekend.
Yeah, I love Bender, especially outside the 18. Such a strong foot, and putting that one on the ground with some speed on it. It's very tough for a goalkeeper to save. As you can see, it did hit off the post, but if it was in just a little to the left, that was a goal.
Pat Tejada gets a touch, but it'll roll out. He was flagged offsides anyway. They're all a bit anxious on their line today up front. We've seen offsides from Hayden Lim, Riley Organ, Pat Tejada, Ryan Facetta. All of them just getting caught up too far. I think this zone defense that you said of St. Paul's, I think they're disregarding some of the guys who are trying to be a little more aggressive with the positioning, and they're actually drawing them off sides. It's a decent trap we've seen set up. It's worked out pretty well for them because we haven't seen any attackers get loose, barring the lobs from Ken Oren to Ryan Facetta, but that's just because of his speed. I think the offside trap has worked out pretty well for St. Paul so far.
Yeah, that's one thing against Calvert Hall's offense. They're built on speed, especially up top. That's one thing each and every team loves to do is play that offsides trap, which even I've seen from my years playing soccer on fresh off in JV. It's always happened, especially knowing using my speed up top too. It's always been an issue for Calvert Hall's offense.
All right, Jake. Go ahead, Jake.
just a minute remaining in the first half. We'll go give a little look to the out-of-town scoreboard. Right now, the Milwaukee Brewers have defeated the Chicago Cubs in the NL Central Division tiebreaker, 3-1. It was a great outing from the Brewers. Christian Yelich has a huge impact. He was fighting for that Triple Crown. The Rockies and Dodgers, their game started at 4. I believe it's 0-0 right now. It is 0-0, top of the third. But back to the game right now. Calvert Hall beating St. Paul's 2-0. Just under 30 seconds. We see the clock running down a little bit. St. Paul is just looking for something. It's good to see we've gotten some rotation from Calvert Hall, gotten some new faces on the field. Obviously, Riley Organt, Hayden Lim, Pat Zahada. It's good to see Pat back. He was hurt with something. And now he has an opportunity with seconds remaining, just under 10. It looks like the ball's going to stray towards the corner. Very close from Pat. That would have been great to see, but obviously not giving up till the last second. And it's good to see a little creativity from Calvert Hall, a little ingenuity for that last second attempt. But what's your take as we're now at halftime? Calvert Hall up 2-0. How do you feel about this performance so far?
I love it. I mean, one thing I actually just noticed right at the end of the half was Cam Orion actually playing up top with Pat Tejada, which I love to see, knowing that we're up 2-0. Means we're playing pretty good, well enough to be able to move Cam up. So we'd actually like to see that going forward if we could. But so far, I love the passing. Our offense is putting a ton of pressure on the St. Paul's defense, even though they're trying to get us with that offsides trap. 2 goals, I love it.
Yeah, it's great to see. Great rebound so far from the loss on Friday night. Calvert Hall just, in this heat, we're still working very hard. I saw some of the guys in the bathroom before the game, and they were already sweating. It was just warm-ups, and you can tell, especially that turf field, it starts to cook. But their work rate is staying up. I think they've been conservative, but they still working very hard. I think that Calvert Hall needs to keep up this effort, and the way we've been playing, it should be a win with ease. But I wouldn't get too comfortable because St. Paul is around the last 20 minutes of the first half. St. Paul showed us. They showed us that they can do something. They haven't gotten the shots yet. The shots will come. They keep getting the set pieces. Like we said, Calvert Hall, they're putting some focus on set pieces now after that tough game against Curly. But they're keeping the ball around midfield. I've noticed St. Paul's and Calvert Hall have each had 4 free kicks from 5 yards off the midfield line. So the ball's it's in the middle right now. I think Calvert Hall is obviously more shots, more goals. But I think that Calvert Hall can't get too complacent because St. Paul's is just a couple quick counterattacks from tying this thing up, taking it to overtime or something. So I think Calvert Hall has done a great job so far. I think they've met their standards. I think they can keep this up and get the win.
Yep.
But I also think that if they keep this up, they're not guaranteeing the win.
Yep.
I think St. Paul's could easily, have an inspirational halftime speech from Eric Washington, the head coach. And next thing you know, they come out all fired up with Rory Jones up front. I think Calvert Hall needs to be wary of that.
Yep. Like you were just saying, it can always happen. One thing I've always heard is never be complacent, and on any given day, anyone can beat you. So even though we're up 2-0, we can't be complacent, especially our defense. We got to keep playing solid, keep putting that pressure on, and I think we'll come out with a win.
2-0 is one of the deadliest scores for any team in soccer.
Yep.
You get a little bit of momentum. You think, hey, I'm up 2 goals right now. I can be a little more soft. I can be a little more relaxed. And next thing you know, they get a goal. And it's 2-1. You're saying, it's just 2-1. We're still winning. We can take this out. But they get that goal, and they got that momentum.
Yep.
And then they get another one, and it's 2-2. And then all of a sudden, it goes from 2-0 to 2-2, and everyone's panicking. So I think Calvert Hall really needs to be wary of the dangers of a 2-0 lead. And they also need to keep doing what they're doing. Don't change anything. Obviously, I love seeing new faces and new positions, but just keep doing what you're doing, and make sure that St. Paul's doesn't get the opportunity to make a change.
Yep.
So, Calvert Hall up 2-0 right now in St. Paul's. We're gonna take a step back for about 6 minutes. 7 minutes till second half starts. We'll be back soon. See you guys.
All right, guys, welcome back. Second half, Calvert Hall versus St. Paul's. Calvert Hall is now up 2-0 at the beginning of the second half. We hope to see some more offensive production from Calvert Hall. Also, we'd like to see the defense keep on working like they have been. They haven't gotten much action, but so far, so good between especially our offense. St. Paul's probably has had a very long and grueling halftime speech, so we hope that they do not come out as strong as they hope to be, and we hope our defense can stop them. In just a second, we'll see Dylan Burris start at the center circle and kick it off to get this second half going.
That's great, Darren. Oh wait, Brady's back.
I am back. And just like that, so is overall soccer. Second half starts up right now. So another new face, Will Andrus, the other freshman on Calvert Hall Varsity Soccer. He gets a little bit of time at left mid. The theme for him this year has been getting over the adversity of his size. Obviously, being a freshman doesn't really give you many advantages with your size and everything. So he's very quick. He has very skillful touches. He just knows what he's doing. And now we get to see a little bit of action from him right now. The crowd excited to see the freshman get the ball on his feet. He plays it back to Bleacher. Bleacher looking across it. He whips it in, but it's booted out by, looks like number 14, Vincent Hill.
Yeah, Brady, we see Will come in to start the second half. Like you said, he is very small, but he does have an amazing touch. Like we just saw him spin around the ball, pass it back to Bleacher, who did send it across. So we hope to see that from him the rest of the second half.
Very enthusiastic about him and Riley, of course. What looks to be the near future of Calvert Hall soccer. Those two obviously getting touches, kind of establishing their future with the program. And the JV team is doing very well this year. I think at Calvert Hall for the next few years, obviously I'm going to be missing it. I'll make sure to come back and watch some games. But it looks like they have some promise to the team.
Yeah, especially I believe there are 2 freshmen who made the team this year, which is huge, and there are a good amount of sophomores who made the team. So I mean, I definitely think the future for Calvert Hall soccer is bright also.
The immediate future, like this junior class, it's very good and it's very deep. We only have like 7 some seniors on the team, and most of them are starting. So this junior class really is, they're all getting experience this year. I think this is more of a water testing year for the junior class. But next year, with all that experience, they'll take over the team. Some of these guys on the bench, like Pat Zahada, like Pat Reef, Andy Christ, who's some in and out. I think they'll all establish their spots next year, and it'll be an exciting thing to see. I'll make sure to come out and get it. I know you will too. And maybe we'll hop on the stream next year, guys. Stay tuned.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we look good this year. We haven't gotten off to the best start, but definitely by the end of the season, I believe we can make a big championship run this year, especially with the players and the team and the chemistry that we all have together.
Yeah, this is my real diagnosis of the team this year. After spending a lot of time watching them, I think I've finally figured out this team they're very good. It's just that I think the team is a little bit scared of the big guys. Obviously, lost to Loyola at home, lost to McDonough at home, and lost to Curley at home. So I think that'll be the next step for them. We all have away games with all 3 of those coming up soon. I think with those 3 teams, those are the 3 biggest. Obviously, McDonough and Loyola are controlling the conference right now. Curley is struggling a little bit. They lost to Spalding. They lost to Gilman. They beat us, unfortunately. But that's still a big game, obviously, Reef Cup. So I think that Calvert Hall, with this year and next year, I think next year will be the big step. I think that those big games, that's the next big step for Calvert Hall soccer.
Yeah, especially with McDonough, Curley, Loyola. Those are the big guns this year. I definitely think we can get past them, just a matter how. And I know head coach Rich Zinkan can definitely figure out how. He's an experienced coach, and we have experienced players who I know can do that.
So just about 4 minutes into the second half, and we've seen a little bit more action from Calvert Hall. We've seen Will Andrus get some touches right here. Bleacher has the ball, and he plays it back. Now back to Will. But Calvert Hall just sort of establishing position again, and maybe just milking out some of this clock. Maybe look for a third goal, but also take your time doing it because you're up 2-0 right now. Here's Bender with a quick turn away. Very flashy and impressive. And that draws a throw in for Calvert Hall. So a throw in for Calvert Hall. Looks like Welsh takes it. Throws it back to Cam. Cam now to Clay. Clay brings it onto the other side, our side of the field. A little bit easier to see with this sun shining into our faces.
Yeah, Brady, we see Jake Bleacher getting the second half start, which I like to see. He came off the bench in the first half, starting in the second half, so we like to see some fresh legs, especially with Jake Bleacher, who's physical and has a big leg too, so he can get the ball up to our offense.
Yeah, we have Andrew Guidi back into the game. I'm sure he's loving the available time for him to get breathers with Pat Tejada and Riley Organt, who are rising up in the ranks as right midfielders. Guidi giving a lot of time to relax with the game against St. Paul's. You don't have to overwork your legs too much. This isn't a Reef Cup. But it's good to see him back onto the field, being that number one right mid. So St. Paul's sort of looking for an opportunity. It's just the ball, whenever they get the ball up into their attacking area, it just starts to bounce around and they can't really establish that true threat. So we see Aidlet, Lawrence Aidlet. He's had a huge role in this game today. I think he's done a good job of getting that ball on the sideline, but they just haven't been able to connect that last piece.
Yeah, Brady, when you're talking about St. Paul's offense, one thing I noticed is that they can get the ball up to their top, up to Rory Jones is a big part of their team, but one thing I see is that I don't see their midfield transition with them. I just see it's just playing with their forwards and their wings, which, I mean, even though it may work if you have some fast guys.
You can get away with it.
Yeah,
but
you can.
Can't rely on it.
Exactly.
And maybe that's why they're 1-5-1 right now. Maybe they've been relying on it, and obviously that'll get you a win here and there or a draw here and there. But you need that centerpiece. You need those center mids. You need that Ben Bender. You need that Sean Barwick. You can't just rely on the wings.
Yep, exactly.
So Calvert Hall looking to get another attack going here. Throw in from Andy Christ. He connects with Bender. Bender whips it across. Will Andrus with the chance here. He gets a foot on it, but it does go wide. So it's good to see him getting picked out by Bender right there. Bender with a great ball, lobbing a rainbow of a ball, but it does find Will Andrus. Just not the right angle for him. I think he could have taken a touch, but being a freshman on varsity, I'm sure you're not thinking about taking a touch at first.
Yeah, with that play from Benny, I mean, like I was saying earlier in the first half, Benny has that huge foot where he can get those shots and those balls in out from outside the 18, which is definitely huge from this team going forward.
For Wednesday, maybe.
Even worse.
So we see the ball played into Eric Segizi here. Will Andrus with a good touch going through the middle. Switches the field over to Ben Bender. Ben Bender keeps on switching it over to Andrew Guidi, who's going to send it up to Andy Christ down the line out of bounds.
Very low connection there for Calvert Hall. It's good to see that. I think they strayed away from that kind of play. But just to get that back going, the flow, it's good to see that.
Yeah, so far from Calvert Hall, we haven't seen too much of offense. St. Paul's actually gotten it going a little bit. Like we were saying, I mean, you can't take them for granted, even in the second half, but we're getting the ball around, which is good, and hopefully we can transition into some offense here. So Calvert Hall draws a foul. The back line will play it out. Here's Cam Owen.
He patiently looks for an opportunity. He plays up. He gets through St. Paul's back line.
Andrew Guidi with a good play. There we go.
He draws a corner. Great stuff from Andrew Guidi. Wait, what? I could have sworn you saw that.
Yeah, I thought it was a corner too.
Flagged for a corner, but apparently not. They're gonna talking to. I guess it got a little scrappy there at the end. Guidi and I believe that looks like Will Burdett. But it's weird. We've seen both teams play very like conservative. We've seen them play a little bit quietly. So it's weird to see them get a little scrappy there on a play like that, especially up 2-0. I think Guidi, he was proud. He worked hard there, and I think it paid off for him. I think he drove corners, but it's whatever. St. Paul's now with an opportunity. Here's Eric Seguizi.
Yeah.
Send this one in. St. Paul's lining up on the 18 for a deep ball. We've seen these midfield free kicks a lot today. And I see Will Andrews in the crowd trying to mark Joseph Hudak, a senior. That's interesting. It must be a tough role to stand in there being a freshman and have to mark one of the key guys for St. Paul's.
Cam Oren. Oh.
Here's Oren. He gets past the second, but the ball goes out of bounds. Great creativity from him.
I love how Cam as a player can just go up and do that like that and be able to get back, especially he's pretty fast too. So very good transition player. Big foot, good speed, good all-around player. Love how Cam plays the game.
So that's why it's not coded. It is we go with the.
Here's Guidi playing a more central role now. Jake Bleacher with the ball. Goes back to Guidi. Guidi back to Bleacher. And now here's Chris Link. I haven't seen much from him today. He's been resting. I think he hurt that leg.
What a shot. Good shot.
Great shot from Dylan Bruce. He has always had a very strong foot. Forced to save from Tim Leffler.
Yeah, that's a good thing for Dylan because he's not the fastest striker, but with his big foot, he really makes up for it, especially with those shots from outside the 18. And being big and physical, he can get those head balls too.
Bender plays Guidi. Now Guidi coming back to our side of the field, looking for another option. Here's Bleacher, who has a very good foot for crossing. We see him curl a lot of balls into the box, create some goals. He scored one himself at Spalding a while back, a few weeks ago. And just keep seeing him. It's great to see him on the field. Foul right there by Andy Christ.
What are Ellen changes?
The clock has been stopped. There's a Andy. I don't know what they're saying. Maybe a shin guard, maybe some kind of wardrobe thing, but I don't know. He has to come off. So he'll come off. Dom Corona comes on. What? I believe Dom came on.
No, thank you. Two of you.
That was Dom Corona.
Two of you.
I did say Dom.
Re-entering the game for Calvert Hall, Dominic Corona. He replaces Andy Chris.
Not really sure what the ref is signaling here.
I'm really confused. I don't know.
Cam took a short play over to...
All right, they just redid.
There we go.
So, something happened. I can't tell you what it was, but something did happen. Throw in for Calvert, and Andy comes back on after replacing whatever he had to replace. Actually, rather that is Steve Welsh. Sorry. The sunlight. I mean, you see how floppy hair. He does have sort of like a junior. I don't know.
He replaces
Anyway,
Dylan Burris.
Steve Welsh comes on for Dylan Burris. He's gonna play more of a forward role now.
I thought you didn't. I thought you didn't go and stop curling.
Good job by Nattons coming out of the box to get it back up to Clay.
Throwing from bleacher, he finds Link. Now Link just looking for someone to go. He decides to put it back to McComas. McComas keeps it going back. Spencer returns it to McComas. And Clay finds Link. So now Calvert just kind of pulling threads here. Putting the ball in spaces towards the defense. Finally working it upfield now. Here's Steve Welsh in the corner fighting for it. And he does foul number 4, Rupen Arshenopoulos. So St. Paul's gets to restart it from their left side corner.
Yeah, Brady, like we were just talking about with these subs coming in, one thing I noticed is that we've said it before, Calvert Hall is really young. Even though we have a really good chance to make a championship run this year, if we can get it going right now, we are really young. So like we said earlier, the future is very bright for Calvert Hall, especially I believe we have a freshman on the field and about 2 or 3 sophomores, which is huge in a soccer game.
Will to make his impact. Will plays it to Sean. Now Barwick, he pushes it off towards Jay Boucher.
Love how Will's getting open. Oh.
That's unlucky. Again, that offside trap coming back into play.
Yeah, even though that offside trap worked for St. Paul's here, he made some space. He got some triangle passing going.
It was really just a step off.
Yep, it really was.
That was a bang play right there, 50-50 call, and it just didn't go Will's way. You know, maybe wait another second and he's onside. Pass the second rower, he's onside. It's just like a 1-2, 1-2 kind of thing.
Yep.
So it's good to see it almost there, and he did a great job stealing the ball right there. And here's the sophomore Welsh.
Good touch by Steven.
Sean Barwick. And the St. Paul defender desperately swings out. That's Will Burdett. That's a pretty good play from him right there to get the ball out of danger. St. Paul's looking to get a counterattack here. They have some numbers. They'll lob it up. Cam with a smart header back to his goalie, Spencer Nattens. Spencer able to use his hands. And he's telling his defenders get up. So, not giving up yet. Just under 25 minutes left to go in this game. Calvert remains up 2-0. We've had goals from Steve Welsh in the 9 minutes into the game, and a goal from Ryan Facetta about 35 minutes into the game. So, Calvert just kind of doing what they're doing, going along with business right now. Nothing big really happening at this moment.
I don't care. You act like I don't know you're on the air.
Yeah, Brady, one thing I noticed with that indirect kick just a few seconds ago was St. Paul's, I believe, is playing 4 in the back, which, I mean, is another huge part of that offsides trap. They're playing a straight line in the back, which is it's kind of hard, especially with only 1 striker up top and then 2 wingers.
I didn't expect that to happen. I mean, I know Will's not a guy who knocks over many people. But it's cool for that, I guess, you know. He's trying to grow a little bit. Miss Lackey is hyped in the booth right now. She got the scoreboard up. If anyone wants to give us your feedback about our scoreboard, she would really love that. She spent a lot of time on this. All the past 20 minutes just been working on it, so it's fun.
Thanks for the shout out, Brady. Much appreciated. You know you're always one of my favorite students.
I wasn't, my mic wasn't on me, so I heard that.
Oh no, it picks up everything. I can still be here right now.
Awesome.
It's a good win by St. Paul's.
He knocks him down. No, that's crazy.
I was. Well, not really. Wasn't trying.
Will is on a different planet right now. What a great sequence of plays for him. It's good to see him on the field. He hasn't really been getting much opportunity on regular time lately, but he's starting to work his way into the lineup. Obviously, being his freshman year, everyone is told, if you're a freshman about to make varsity, you're gonna have to sit bench at some point,
And in the game, St. Paul's, Timmy
I think that it's good for them to get the experience of training with varsity at first, and then sort of working their way. You can't just be rushed into the lineup. I see freshmen on other teams. It's even happened for Calvert Hall. I see freshmen that get straight into the lineup, and it's just too much to handle.
Yep.
Coming from like a club setting straight into high school, they're two different worlds.
Yep, exactly. Like, I mean, even though as a freshman, like, it's hard, new transition in high school and playing varsity soccer your freshman year in one of the, like, to me, I think one of the best conferences in the country. Very hard to do, but doing it, it shows that you're a pretty good player. And so far, from what I've seen, Will is a very good player, which we love to see, especially for the future of Calvert Hall soccer.
St. Paul's with a throne. Here's a Rupa National athlete. He tries to find Lawrence Biglet, but Calvert Hall's defense does a good job of clearing this one out. So Corona plays up the line, and it just gets recycled through the St. Paul's defense again. And a little bit of foosball style, but right there it goes straight to Calvert Hall's defense. So you see Chris Link now just doing what he wants, looking for the options first, and then playing the ball. Barwick dispossessed though. Here's Lawrence Aidlet. Now Eric Segizi for St. Paul's. He whips it in. He looks for Timmy Knott, the junior. And
Good play by Will Andrews.
He had a big body coming for him. He had Vincent Hill coming straight at him, and he did not shy down. Great play from Will to get that ball up the field.
That's what you love to see by any player, is stepping up and getting that ball out, especially being on defense with a counter coming up to you.
Oh my gosh! You saw.
Good save by Nattens.
I saw that coming. I was just about to say. Timmy Knott was floating in that box unmarked. I don't know if Will left him off, thought a center defensive or center back would pick him up, or maybe the center backs thought that Will had him picked up. But he just floated straight into that box. And if it weren't for the intervention of Spencer Nattens, and also the fact that he missed the ball and the ball was maybe a little bit too high, that's a goal for St. Paul's, and that's an easy one.
Yep, exactly.
Those mistakes anymore. That's more of a Curly-esque kind of mistake that we saw on Friday.
Yeah, I mean, even though it happened Friday and the defense didn't really mark Timmy coming on in, Spencer made a great save. And especially after Friday, losing 5-1, that's a very good rebound save, especially not having much all game up to this point. Then we were just talking about how at the end of the first half, St. Paul's hadn't had really anything going for them, but now they do. But it just goes to show you that our defense is playing pretty good today, especially with Nattens coming up and making that save.
Hayden Lynn coming on for Will Andrus.
Returning from Calvert Hall, Hayden Lim. He replaces Will Andrus.
Big shout out to Dean Cerzini. He is not on the mic today, but he is on the mic. He's doing PA. He's coming right now.
I will be here with Brady on Wednesday, though.
I think so, yeah. Nice game on Wednesday. I think we'll be here. But he's doing PA today. Mr. Clark is at a volleyball game. We wish them luck.
Oh, what a... Whoa! Is that a foul on us or them?
No, definitely a foul on St. Paul's. They stopped.
All right, good. That's what we like to see.
Just for an injury, or if there's gonna be a booking. But that was not the best sight.
We do see head coach Rich Zinkan coming out on the field, and I believe we do see an athletic trainer out on the field, so I don't know what that means. And he is up. Very good.
That wasn't really the best sight. Oh, he just caught it. He caught a shoulder there. That was not really a soccer kind of play. I think was there a booking for that?
No, there wasn't.
It wasn't. That's surprising because he did not play the ball at all. I really think a play like that warrants a booking, at least a yellow.
Yep.
So interesting call. We just got under 20 minutes now in the game, and Calvert Hall knocking on the doorsteps for a third goal. Facetta coming into the game. He replaces Steve, who goes out for a little breather. I'm sure he'll be back soon.
I'd like to see Facetta get a head ball here, especially on this free kick here. Right outside the 18, something Calvert Hall's been looking for all game. Hopefully we can capitalize.
either Bender, Cam, or even Luke Ferraris, who we have not seen much of today, which is weird because he's been a steady starter for Carroll.
Yeah, I mean, he even played pretty good against Curly. We did have a free kick just like this against them, and he actually ended up banging the crossbar.
I thought so too. But I think one of them will choose to shoot this ball rather than cross it.
Yeah, for sure.
Nope, that's not. He had me fooled.
What a shot!
And he got it. Goal from Ben Bender.
What a goal.
Over to the sideline. Says hi to his teammates. Sees how Steve is doing. Good goal from Bender. Like I said, I was pretty sure they'd be shooting. He came out shooting. And that's just what he does.
Yep.
So, goal from Ben Bender, that's his first today. And he is pumped up about that one.
That is what you love to see from Calvert Hall and on our set pieces, because the three people who were on that, Cam, Ben, and Luke, all have huge feet. They don't know who's going to take it, especially who's running on and off the ball. And then it ended up Ben, and ended up finding the bottom corner of the net, which is great.
Yeah, Bender's on a little hot streak of his. Scored against Curly, a lone goal for Calvert Hall, and that was a very impressive, flashy goal.
Yep, it was a bullet. I mean, even that was bottom right corner of the net, right on the ground. It was perfect.
And he had a very impressive goal against Eastern Tech. That was not live streamed, but I'm sure there's some film somewhere, and I'm going to have to do something because that goal was just someone else. He's just been going at it all season, and this is only his junior year. He'll be back out here next year.
Yep, like we were talking about earlier, the future for Calvert Hall is bright.
So now with just 18 minutes left, a third goal for Calvert Hall. They've built a very impressive and steady lead. I think they'll start to play a little more damage control now. Don't let any balls through, and don't give them any opportunities to get through. So you'll see them packing a little bit more, sit back, and sit on this ball, park the bus, as they like to say at Manchester United, Jose Mourinho style. So Calvert Hall up 3-0, and they're just going to keep rolling, it looks like. St. Paul's unable to get a shot on target lately. I can't remember the last time they did, honestly. So, barring that one opportunity from Timmy Knott, Calvert Hall has been very impressive on defense.
Yeah, I mean, it's showing on the scoreboard, too. Only 2 shots on goal for St. Paul's, which is huge for our defense, especially coming off that Reef Cup game where they lost 5-1. We love to see that for a rebound game.
Here's Eric Segezi. He lobs a spiraling rainbow over the heads of almost everyone, except Spencer Nattens, who is there to pick it up, collect it, roll it out. Here's Cam Irwin. Irwin down to Bender.
Good passing.
Facetta just got caught up on his feet again. Sometimes he runs so quickly that he almost forgets the ball behind him. Also, a lacrosse.
Good touch by Clay. There we go.
Also, a lacrosse player. He's been trained to run as fast as he can.
Yep.
And it's very impressive when he's chasing out on the ball. But sometimes, as you saw there, he just runs right over it. So a little trade-off, I guess. But he's been doing very well for Calvert Hall this season.
The ball comes back all the way to Leffler. I'm not really sure what happened, but they have an indirect kick here.
I'd assume an offside or something.
It's
a handball. A handball?
Handball.
That was a handball. So here's Facetta facing our own goal, but he plays it to Barwick. Barwick pushed from behind. He gets the foul. I haven't seen many fouls called today. I don't know if it's hard to tell if the game hasn't been physical or if the ref has just been letting things slide. But besides all these little little poke tricks,
Yep.
it hasn't been too physical, hasn't been too scrappy. Besides that one football style hit, this ball is in.
What a goal!
He heads it over to Leffler. Great goal for Luke. It's good to see him back out on the field.
Yep.
He hasn't played much today, but when he is on there, he makes an impact.
I mean, even for Luke, that's a rebound after Curly. I mean, that free kick that he banged off the crossbar, coming back today against St. Paul's, getting a head goal here. It's perfect. I love it.
Crossbar play, we get it. Your manager.
He hit the crossbar. You don't remember that. And also, like we were talking about earlier, Calvert Hall's a big physical team also. It works. In the air, have balls. We love to see it, especially with how Calvert Hall's been playing this game. We've had almost every type of goal so far, and 4-0 with 15 minutes to go in the second half. It's looking pretty good for Calvert Hall.
Here you go. It's fine.
I stopped and I started again.
Here's Luke again. Another opportunity. He rips it, crossbar. Ryan Facetta puts it in.
What a goal. Second goal by Ryan Facetta. He's having a great game, especially coming off the bench, too.
Impact of Luke Faris. He's just showing again. Another great shot, another crossbar. It's like it's almost like he's aiming for the crossbar.
I know.
And just the impact that he's had on the field.
Yeah, exactly. I've played with Luke ever since I was about 8, and he's been one of the best soccer players I've ever played with, and his foot is huge. You could almost say he's dominant on both feet. That's why he's such a big presence in the field.
So now, all of a sudden, Calvert just runs into a 5-0 lead. Went from 2-0 to 5-0 pretty quickly. So, this is very impressive from Calvert. Oh, St. Paul's with a quick goal and a little compensation. That's number 7, Griffin Polinski, and the ref just snatched the ball out of his hands.
They don't do it for that.
It's already on.
Yeah, that's not the 90 seconds behind.
The clock stops you
You
away.
check the clock.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're right.
Still 14-4.
Good goal by St. Paul's. I mean, very.
See, Mike Murphy, aka Murph Swole.
Entering the game for Calvert Hall, Mike Murphy.
So Spencer can almost say that he had a clean sheet. A very impressive outing today. He's had a couple impressive saves today. It's unfortunate that that goal snuck in at the end. I think the defense fell asleep for a little bit. 5-0. You're not going to be sweating it too much. But great outing for Spencer Nans. It's a great rebound for him.
Yep.
And for the defense too. And now it's good to see Mike Murphy get some time. And with 14 minutes left, we might be able to see Andrew Levis come in too.
I'd love to see Murph and Andrew Levis, but I mean Murph's getting some time now, but I'd love to see Levis too. That's another big thing. Andrew Levis is a very, very good goalkeeper, and especially next year, he's a junior this year, so he'll be senior next year. It's huge for Calvert Hall with how young they are and their big future again.
You replace Chris Link.
So now it's the freshman Riley Oregon back in. He is known by friends and family for his Justin Bieber hair. His flops everywhere.
We also see sophomore number 19 Liam Giblin come in at left back. That's a new face coming off the bench. We haven't seen him play too much this season, but
Look for him definitely. Being a sophomore.
Yep.
There's always that transition period, coming off of JV where you're like a big role. You have a big role in JV that freshman year, and then you come to varsity. It's a whole different story.
Yep.
You gotta get used to that too. It's a huge transition. Whereas these freshmen, they don't really have to deal with that transition. They just get straight into it.
Yep.
So it's good to see him get some time. It's good to see Hayden Lim establish his role. It's good to see Steve Welsh, always out there. So these sophomores coming from JV last year, they've been very impressive, very strong out there, and establishing the future. Like we said, a huge theme for Calvert Hall this year.
Yep, especially with the young guys. They hold up with the bigger guys. It's good to see, too, because those bigger guys are 2 years older than them, more physical, more powerful on the field. It's just good to see that they could definitely go up and hold their own weight against them.
Here's Facetta. He misses it, but Hayden almost gets a foot on it. And here's Lim Gibbling. And now the freshman by the Oregon. He plays Hayden. Hayden.
What a dummy. There we go. Good turn.
Now Facetta. Facetta could square it.
Oh, good pass by Facetta.
Shane or Riley. Hayden with a soft, slow curler that just rolls up to the goalie, Tim Leffler. So, as time's running down, we're just under 11 minutes, and Calvert Hall just still sort of going with the flow, but now they're getting some new faces, getting some opportunities. Always love this as a player. Now, back in my days playing soccer for Calvert Hall, loved when this time kind of came up upon us. We were up a lot because it's always good to see some new faces. Seeing Dean Ciarzini.
Yeah.
We put him in. I remember freshman year, we're up against Mount St. Joe, maybe 7-0 or something, and we put Dean in at goalie. Great time.
Dean the dream.
Yeah, I just love seeing all these players get some opportunities. Liam Gibbling, obviously, I haven't seen him come in yet this year, so it's good to see him in, and he's already making an impact. He looks pretty strong out there at left back.
Yeah.
The ref is very picky about this free kick location.
Yep.
Just keep going up. All right, I swear, I thought it was up, maybe like 15 yards up, but it's okay. We'll take it. Hayden Lim looks to cross it in. Or maybe play it short. Nope. He will whip it in. Put a little curve.
Oh, good ball.
It just found its way through a bunch of legs there. And St. Paul's with an opportunity to find maybe another compensation goal with just under 10 minutes to go.
I noticed Calvert Hall still putting that pressure on the offense. I love to see that because big thing in the MIAA is that tiebreaker with goals for, goals against. I mean, it's huge, and especially with that 3-3 record so far for Calvert Hall, it could come into play, especially at the end of the season.
It's also very important for these guys, the second string sort of player.
Yep.
Like Ryan Facetta, who scored 2 today.
Ryan Lombardi.
Ryan Lombardi coming in. It's good to see him.
He replaces Ryan Facetta.
Riley again, Hayden Lim. Just seeing all these guys who they get time, but they want to get more. That kind of thing. They're going to be fighting for some goals. They want to show the coaches, they want to show the parents, they want to show their teammates that they can be that guy who can score. Maybe not just with 5 minutes left to go and, against St. Paul's up 5-1.
Yep.
Maybe in games against Curly when you're down 2-1 with 20 minutes to go and you're not letting it slip. Maybe a game against McDonough, overtime. A couple opportunities for Facetta and Riley. I remember that game, it just slipped.
Yep.
But obviously, the team is getting much better at communicating. Like you said earlier, that chemistry is really starting to form.
Yeah, that's a big thing. Like, especially a lot of our Calvert Hall players play on the same club team, which is another big thing. They get the gel during the off season too. So hopefully that can come into play towards that, like at the second half of the season. So we'd love to see that too.
Sometimes, thank goodness for club, because sometimes it's a shame with high school sports.
Yep.
Where you have these 3 months together, and you guys really start to form this bond on the team, and everyone's next step, and then the next thing you know, it's just that group of seniors graduates.
Yep.
And then it's the next man up, and that's just how high school sports goes. It's the next man up.
Yep.
So it's good that we have this club soccer rolling for us now, because we got guys Riley Oregon and Will Andrus played together since they were 4 years old. We got all these guys on pipeline now who've been playing together for years, coming up through high school. Just not even just for the 3 months.
Yep.
Varsity soccer season, but also all of off season. So it's good to see that that chemistry created, and I can't wait to see all these guys, especially like this new age of players,
Yep.
where club soccer is really taking over.
Yep.
The area of Baltimore Pipeline was established 2009, I think. So you get all these kids who started when they were 5 years old for Pipeline, and just coming up, sort of our own little pipeline.
Yep.
So, and also other clubs around here, FCUSA, Celtic, Baltimore Bays. It's all coming together, and I'm just really impressed by the chemistry that's been created by some of these guys.
Yep. So we see Rory Jones come back in for St. Paul's. He hasn't been much of a presence this second half. I'm not really sure why, but he's back in now, and I'm pretty sure he's looking to make an impact on this game, even though they're down 5-1.
Yeah, Yeah, just 6 minutes left, and both teams just looking for that icing on top. Obviously, Calvert Hall's icing will be a little bit sweeter with the victory, but St. Paul's definitely can't give up. They who knows, they can come back and score a couple goals, and then they're going into practice tomorrow with a little bit more confidence.
Yep.
And same thing with Calvert Hall. If they let this slip and it turns from 5-1 to 5-3, then they're going to practice tomorrow a little more hesitant, a little more anxious, because they know that a team can just quickly pile up some goals. And obviously they don't want to be running some sprints, so if they close this game well with a nice score, they might not have to run too much.
Yep. And then we see another big step by Cam Orrin is actually transitioning to offense now, which we love to see no matter what position you're playing.
So Calvert Hall with another throw, and the clock just keeps ticking down around 5 minutes now. And Calvert Hall just sort of playing around, a little bit of a practice session for some of the guys. And they're just going to see what happens, kind of play this out. Very impressive outing from Clay McComas today. I was surprised, to say at least, to see him come out. And with a great ball from Clay.
Oh, good ball.
The ball is loose. Oh my gosh.
I think that may be a booking. It is.
Riley got 1-2 for clapping in his face, but I'm glad he did.
I think we see Ryan Facetta coming back into the game for the final few minutes of this matchup between Calvert Hall and St. Paul's. We are at 4 minutes and 47 seconds left with the clock stopped. Cards up 5-1. Coming down to the last few minutes. I think it's looking pretty good, Brady.
Yeah, very good sequence for Calvert Hall. Up 2-0, and you might see a team normally sit back and relax, with that 2-0 lead. But Calvert Hall had like a 10-minute collection of plays that brought them up to 5-0. And then St. Paul's, obviously Calvert Hall fell asleep for a little bit on the back line. And you hate to see that, but let's not be too pessimistic about it. Calvert Hall, St. Paul's fights to get that one goal. Murph coming in flying for the catch. And a quick release. It's good to see Murph get some touches.
Yeah, especially with a save, too.
I feel bad for goalies sometimes when they're coming in for a chance to play at the end of the game. Normally you're coming in with the big lead and you're not getting tested that much.
Yep.
So they stand in goal for 5 minutes and then nothing happens. And now we're seeing Andrew Levis come on the field. Great moment for all the goalies.
Entering the game for Calvert Hall,
And
Riley Morgan,
Riley comes back in for Facetta after getting a yellow card.
and Andrew Levis, who was Mike Murphy.
Honestly, Brady, I love seeing Andrew Levis come in. I played with him my sophomore year. Such a good kid, such a good player, especially a goalkeeper.
Fellow peer minister of ours.
Got that right.
Guy.
Red.
They're just JVP ministry.
So the ball just sort of flying around right now. Carroll's defense just looking to get it out. Rye Oregon fighting against what looks like Jalen Thomas. Hayden plays it back to Liam. Liam finds Pat Reef. I played club with him a couple years ago. Great guy. His dad, Calvert Hall legend Chris Reef. Not sure if he's watching right now. I'm not sure if he's here, but shout out to him. We might be able to get him on for a halftime show coming up this year. He always does that. So Calvert Hall just sort of playing this out now. We got 2 minutes 45 seconds left in the game, and we've seen a lot from Clay McComas today. His distribution has been very good. His job on the back line, shutting down some drives, from St. Paul's, really keeping Rory Jones in his pocket today. And it's a great showing, especially for a guy who's came up throughout the program. I remember him being a captain on front.
Good play by Cam. Wow.
Sniffing that goal. But the play came up all the way from fresh off as a wingback. He's always been that.
Yep.
So to see him sort of reassure us that he can play center back too, that's great. And we see him come over and cut this ball off right now. Another peer master of ours.
Down 1 minute 50 seconds left now. Calvert Hall still up 5-1. I'm pretty sure. I think they have it in the bag now. Like you were just talking about, Clay's a very good player. Physical, strong, even fast. Perfect for a wingback. He can boot the ball up. Oh, good out by, I believe that is. I think it's Dom. Actually, no, that was Luke Faris.
It's hard to tell.
Yeah.
Here's Aiden on our side of the field, a little bit easier to find the players then. He whips it across. Looks like Pat Tahad is chasing this one down. He almost gets to it. Puts a little pressure on Tim Leffler. Tim rolls it out. Now St. Paul's rather. He's just looking for something. We have a minute left to go. Starting to wrap things up, both on the field and up here. What's your final take of this game?
I loved it. We played really well. Offense was very good. We had it going for the first half, and then half of the second half, we played really well. I mean, they kind of backed off at the end, but I can see that with some new faces coming in. Defense played really well. I think a total of only 3 shots on goal for St. Paul's, which is really good for a defense. Spencer Nattens had a great game. You love to see Murph and Andrew Levis both coming in to get some time. So overall, I think we played great. I love the passing, love the separation. Good rebound from that 5-1 loss at Curley on Friday.
Yeah, the final second is just ticking down now. What do you see for the game against on Wednesday when John Carroll comes here?
I can definitely see, if we keep this up, I definitely see a win. We'd love to see a win. I mean, what a game by Calvert Hall. They're looking to go back to practice tomorrow, get some good work in, and hopefully go up against this physical John Carroll team that loves to get, they're good in the air. Calvert Hall is going to have to get that with their passing and their physical ability too, so let's hope they can do that.
Yeah, great game overall for Calvert Hall. A lot of improvements we've seen. We saw a great outing from Spencer, a little bit of a rebound. We saw some guys like Liam Gibbon get in. We saw Luke Faris, who didn't play all most of the game, which was very surprising. But then he gets in and he still makes an impact. So I'd love to see that. I just love to see all the new faces. Like I said in the beginning of the game, I wanted to see some more rotation.
Yep.
I think the offense was a little stale Friday night, obviously, but we don't want to talk about Friday night.
Yep.
Because now we got a new game to talk about.
Yep.
We got this game against St. Paul's. 5-1 Calvert Hall. Thank you everyone for watching.
Thank you.
I'm Brady Organ.
I'm Garrett McElhenney.
And don't forget to tune in on Wednesday for Calvert Hall versus Archbishop Spalding. Brady and I will be here, so Garrett might come by. Don't forget to tune in. 4 o'clock on Wednesday, Archbishop Spalding versus Calvert Hall.
Thank you, Dean, so much.
Have a plug.
Thank you everyone for watching. Obviously, like Dean said, Wednesday, 4 o'clock, Spalding versus Calvert Hall. Make sure to either come out to the game or view on the live stream wherever you are at work. I know your boss is somewhere around, but you can still watch. You just gotta swipe the screen a little bit. It's okay. So thank you so much for watching, everyone. I'm Brady Organ. This is Garrett McElhaney, obviously.
Have a good one.